Hey guys, it's Gameface and welcome back to episode 128 of my Leeds United Career Mode. Now in today's episode, we've got obviously the transfer deadline day to get through, and then we've got some games after that as well. 10 hours to try and get through here. I'm not too sure whether I will make any new signings or not. I might just leave this money that I've got for the January transfer window if we're kind of in a bit of a crisis or anything like that. But in the last episode, if you didn't see it, basically we signed some new players, we spent loads and loads of money, and we also started off the season. We didn't start too well because, if you don't know, I'm having to sim more matches this season, the final season of the Leeds Career Mode, because we've got to fit them all in before FIFA 17 comes out. So this is the team that I've got at the moment. Like I say, additions-wise, I can't see us making too many, if any, to be honest, on transfer deadline day. But we will go through. Before we get into things too much, though, if we could go ahead and hit 20 likes on this video, that'd be really appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Man City coming in with a huge bid for Ian Taylor, 23 million. Quite a large bid for someone of his age, but he has been good. In certain times. He's been a bit inconsistent rather like a lot of the players. Okay, just got a message, bear with. So what we are going to do is, I think, put a counter offer in. I would be interested in getting rid of him for the right price. We'd obviously have to get in a new midfielder, and it's going to be, that's the same sort of player really as Taylor. We've obviously got in Matuidi in the last episode. What we are going to do is ask for, I think, £42 million. I think that's a reasonable amount, really. He's 81 overall, 21 years old. I think that's a fair enough amount to ask for. Will they match it? You don't really know with Man City. It's difficult to tell. Sometimes they will match those sort of huge offers. Other times they'll just say, no, I'm not interested. It depends how highly they think of Ian Taylor. We'd obviously have to try and get someone in, though. So they need to kind of come back to us fairly quickly. Otherwise, we might not have enough time to get another centre mid. In terms of the centre mids that we could try and get in, there's obviously a lot of different options. We might actually just put in a bid for one just in case obviously he leaves. Now I've thought about it, maybe I need to go on the hunt for a new CDM. Let's try and find one. Obviously it doesn't have to be a starter because we've got Matuidi in the team, but we need to certainly have someone in there as a squad player that's as fast as Ian Taylor. Well, that's what I'm after really in my midfield. Okay, I'm going to have a look at this guy. Never heard of him, no chance of ever pronouncing his name, so I'm going to call him Stefan in the hope that that's A, pronounced right, and B, going to make things a little bit easier for myself. He's obviously not quite as fast, but he's got good acceleration there. The main thing I'm looking at, though, is the short passing, the standing tackle, and the slide tackle. 82 overall, never heard of him, no idea who he is, but he looks really good, and he's actually gone up loads. So we're going to try and get a deal for him to get him into the club. We'll put in a bid, I think, of £17 million. We'll see what they say to that. Hopefully they agree to the deal. If not, then we'll have to try and obviously submit a new bid. But I think that seems like a fairly reasonable amount to put in a bid for. Obviously, we've also got Ep to try and get rid of still, I believe, unless he went as part of one of the other deals. I can't quite remember now. So we might have to try and get rid of him if we can. Yeah, so we've still got him here, 82 overall. Will he be used in this career mode for this season? I don't think so, to be honest. So we might have to try and get rid of him. Maybe as part of another deal, but it's difficult to know who else we could really fit into our squad because we have such a large squad already. So I don't really know whether we can get rid of him and get anybody else in that's going to be good enough. Okay, we're going to try and put in a bid for Asamoah. I know he's obviously left mid, but for me, he will play centre mid when he plays, or at least most of the time anyway. He's really quick. Passing wise looks really good, shot power, long shots, everything that you really need. So he looks like a decent Ghanaian player that we're going to try and get in. We'll put in, I think, Ep as part of this deal, and it might just be that we try and get a straight trade for this. I didn't realise that we'd actually have so many deals going on in this episode, but I thought if I've got Ep, may as well get rid of him and try and get in a player that I'm likely to use more. So it's going to be a straight trade. Hopefully Juventus are okay with that, but we'll wait and see what they say. There's not too much longer left, 7 hours, so we're going to have to try and get some emails in quite quickly to sort these deals out. Man City not willing to meet the 42 million. They will, though, bid 28 million. So we're going to again ask for more money. I think 40 is the lowest I'm going to go for with Ian Taylor. 40 million, or you're not having him, basically. Transfer off in another one for Ian Taylor. 24 million from Watford. Wow, there's only 5 hours left, so if he does go, we need to get in another player quite quickly, and we've not heard anything back from any of the other clubs that we put in bids for the players, so that means that we're going to be in a little bit of a difficult situation if Ian Taylor does go. We've got some emails coming through now. Could this be them? Yes, but not all of them accepted. Juventus wanting 9.5 million as well as Ep, which is ridiculous considering that obviously Asamoah isn't even worth as much as Ep, and he's got 11 months left on his deal. So we're going to go with, I think, 5 million and Ep, probably overpaying here by quite a bit, but we're going to go with it anyway. Entep's probably not quite worth 15 million, to be completely honest. And we've got a bid accepted for Stefan, so we can move on to the contract. I just need to quickly change things around. Okay, so we've got enough now. He wants 80 grand a week. We will go, I think, important first team player. If anybody has any idea how to pronounce his surname, let me know in the comments below. But I think Stefan will probably do just for now, because I've probably got no chance of pronouncing his name whatsoever. Into the final sort of 3 hours now to try and get deals done. Man City come back and said 33.5 million is the most that they will pay. Not interested in that amount, not good enough for me, so we won't go ahead with it. That means we don't really have to bring another centre mid now. I'll continue to look at them, obviously. There's not too much longer left anyway to try and get them in, but we'll wait and see what happens. Watford are actually willing to pay more than Man City. 34 million though, still not interested. We'll just reject that. Ian Taylor won't be leaving us now by the looks of it, so we might not need to get in the other 2 players. I could though just get in Asamoah for the sake of it, but we'll wait and see what happens here anyway. He hasn't even come back to us, which isn't good. So we can only get in this guy. I don't know what Juventus are playing at. Took far too long to get back to us. So we can only now get in Stefan. That's 17 million. Do I really want to pay 17 million for him? No, I don't, to be totally honest. I would if it was for Entep as part of the deal, but it's not, so I won't go ahead with it. And that means we've not made any deadline day deals. But obviously we had to kind of deal with the fact that Man City were potentially after Ian Taylor and nearly got him. I'm surprised they didn't meet the £40 million asking price though, but that didn't happen. So no deals on transfer deadline day, not quite as dramatic as usual, because obviously we didn't sign anybody, but we had a couple of players that could have come in possibly, but obviously we didn't need to bring them in the end, so I'm not going to waste money unnecessarily. Sylvester wants to leave in the next transfer window, same as Lewis Cook, some of the Leeds players there wanting to leave, not good. But we will hope to try and incorporate them into some of the cup teams. We've got loads of games coming up quite close together as well in the next few months, so they will get a game at some point. And yeah, we'll move on to the next match now. We've always got some player development to do. We're currently around mid-table, 4 points from 4 games. Not too good. We've got some player development here, hopefully to try and get up some of the youngsters if we can. Gordon going up to 64 overall. That's a more respectable overall for him. A right winger potentially could get into some of the cup teams here along with some of the other players that we are training. So let's try and get up to, I think, the first game of this episode, and we might well play it depending on who it's against. I think it might be Leicester from when I check the calendar. Okay, so now on to the game against Leicester. This is the team I'm going to be playing with. Ter Stegen in goal, Nelson at right back, Stone, Zuma, Galloway, Matuidi, Lucas, Ramirez, Dybala on the left, and we've got obviously Quincy on the right. Tevez starts up front as well. So quite a strong team, as you'd expect. That's the bench I've gone with as well. So a very, very strong bench. Sherlock can come off at the bench at some point, hopefully to try and get us a goal or 2 if we need them. But yeah, we're going to play the game against Leicester. I would have probably simmed it if we hadn't got off to a bad start in the league so far. So I am going to play it and hopefully get ourselves back on track and towards the top end of the league rather than mid-table. Okay, here we go. We've kicked off here. We are at, obviously, the King Power Stadium. We are needing to get the 3 points. I don't know whereabouts Leicester are in the league currently. I'd probably imagine they're above 14th. It's been a very quick start from Leicester. Let's make sure we don't concede early. Whew, that was close. Lee Lucas going to play it through to Dybala. Still running. Still got to hit Dybala coming inside. Can he shoot? And he has done. 1-0. 9 minutes in. Don't know how he managed to keep hold of the ball for so long there. And he scored on his right foot as well. 2 things I was not expecting. But yeah, very good little run from him. Decent touch on his right foot. Keeps the ball away from the defender. Weaves inside. Doesn't get touched. And he manages to score past Butland. 1-0. Very good start from us. Although it has been quite an even game. That is our first shot of the match. And we have managed to score it. That's something that doesn't usually happen. It's usually the way around. Matuidi inside to Ramirez. Going to try and play it here to Dybala. Inside to Tevez. Can he turn and shoot? Takes a deflection. Was on his weaker foot though. Matuidi through to Lee Lucas, who's made a brilliant run. Can he find Tevez at the back post? It's a good header, saved by Butland. And eventually falls back to him. Probably a pass back there, but we won't mention that. Matuidi can look for Tevez. Good ball through Tevez. Oh, finally, 2-0. Fantastic finish. We've got the quality in this team to score the chances that we create now. So much better from us. 2-0. And we are approaching half-time. Obviously, we've sold them a couple of players this transfer window. We've sold them, I think that was Gomez that we sold them at left-back, because obviously we gave them Gomez and got in Chilwell at left-back ourselves. And we've also given them Benica Fobe as well, who also starts in this match. But at the moment, we are beating them 2-0. One back by Dybala. On to Tevez. Can he get himself a second? He has done. 3-0. Poor defending, but won back well by Dybala. And it's 3 minutes before half-time, and we're winning 3-0. And that is it for the first half. Still winning the game 3-0. Brilliant performance so far. We're going to hopefully continue that into the second half, because that's the only thing. Sometimes when you score loads in the first half, you don't quite score in the second half enough. So hopefully we continue to do that, but we will keep the team the same, obviously, and see how we get on. Okay, we will make 2 changes now. We are going to bring on Andre Schürrle and Silva. Obviously, they're going to play the usual positions that you probably expect. That means we're going to take off Tevez and Dybala. The reason why I'm doing that is to obviously preserve them for the next match. I don't think there's too many days rest, to be honest, before the game. I'm pretty sure it's against Schalke in the group stage of the Champions League, I think it is. So we'll obviously give them a bit of a rest now. Leicester are just quite happy to pass it round and see out the rest of the game, I think, now. So the aim is probably going to be make sure we get the clean sheet. Ramirez back to Silva, who's going to have a shot. Silva, good save by Butland, and it's put in, but it's going to be offside. Quincy nearly got on the score sheet there. Was in the right place at the right time, but it was offside in the end. Time for the final change. It's going to be Matuidi coming off, and we'll bring on Lewis Cook just for the final 7 minutes. Silva looking for Lewis Cook. Going to need some support here. Schürrle's up there as well. Going to cut back in, try and find Silva if he can. Oh. I think it's more difficult to miss that chance. Wow. How has he managed that, Silva? Just not headed it in the right direction. That's it. We've won the game 3-0. I was after some more goals in the second half. I said usually it doesn't really happen, to be honest. And it didn't happen. We didn't manage to score in the second half, but we did enough in the first half to win the game 3-0. Got the 3 points, and now we can probably move on to the next match. We'll have to wait and see, though, whether we have time to play it in this episode. Okay, so basically before the match, Andre Silva asked for a new contract, gave him a new contract, gave him everything that he was after, crucial first-team player, all that sort of stuff, and the pay rise. And he said that he doesn't want to commit himself to a new contract, so he's going to decide where he wants to play his football in the near future and get back to us. Well, there's only 1 more season left, so it doesn't concern us too much. Gordon also wanted to start, decided not to because I need to win the game, and Gordon hasn't been great when he's played sometimes, so I didn't start him, and he's disappointed about that. But we've got some player development before we end the episode here. Basically, I have also promoted Paponi, as you can see there, 58 overall. He has been promoted into the first team. He was complaining about not being promoted yet and was threatening to leave the youth academy, so I decided to promote him. He's got a really good potential on him, but this keeper here, 70 overall, looks really good now. He's still in the youth academy. Again, got really good potential, but I think they grow better in the youth academy, so that's the reason why I'm reluctant to promote all of them at once. He's gone up 3 overalls already, and we're barely into the season, only in September, and he's already at 70 overall. Fantastic for us. Let's sim up to the Schalke game, then we'll probably play that one in the next episode when we have a bit more time. We'll probably then sim the whole game as well in the next episode, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. So yes, that is everything. Thank you all for watching. If we could go ahead and hit 20 likes on this video, that'd be really appreciated. Also, if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for another Leeds United Career Mode video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.